Hi, let's talk about oils. Yay! I'm so excited for you. Today I'm going to talk to you about peppermint oil. And peppermint oil is one of my favorites. I use it for a lot of things, a lot of different things. This will probably be a good little bit longer of a video. Um, Before we start off talking about oils, I want to give you some oil etiquette information. So, no matter what oil you're using, there are things that you want to remember. And the first is smelling. So when you smell a new scent, you want to start off down further, waft it around a bit, and then if you're not really getting the scent of it, move up slowly. The last thing you want to do is be overpowered by a strong scent, and because oils are so concentrated, that's possible. The other thing is that when you are trying a new oil and you're using a new oil, you don't want to touch the top, this part here, that white part. Instead, you want to hold it further from your hand and let it drop out. Okay? And then make sure to put the cap back on, because the last thing you want to do is to leave it out and have it knock over. We will talk about what peppermint does for that in a few minutes. So peppermint is traditionally used for digestive problems. Peppermint tea used to be an old digestive aid, but now we can use peppermint tea. We can use peppermint oil to make our own tea. Research supports that peppermint is supportive of your liver and respiratory system, that it improves concentration and focus. It has the ability to affect the brain's trigger for feeling full. In fact, the research showed that overweight individuals who inhaled sweet smells that included things like green apple and peppermint in 6 months lost 30 pounds just by triggering that sense of feeling full from the scent. It's been found to be a harmless and effective treatment for tension headaches, emotional irritation, depression, and apathy, and it has also been found to increase athletic performance. What's not to love about this stuff? So, peppermint. No, there you go. Peppermint oil. And one of mine is almost empty now, and I've probably had this one for about a year. They last a long time. That's what I love about oils. So some things I want to tell you about peppermint oil that you should take caution with. First, it is a very hot, or rather spicy oil, which means that you will feel a cool, if not, some people think, burning sensation with peppermint oil if it is applied to you directly with no carrier oil. And a carrier oil is just an oil that we use to dilute strong essential oils. A carrier oil can be coconut oil or olive oil. Young Living makes a line of oils specially made for using with essential oils. You can find almond oil. So it's just something that helps dilute the oils a bit and reduce that intense feeling. Although you did just see me put it on my hand, I don't personally have a hard time with it. I will say that you will feel a very strong cooling sensation. There is also with peppermint oil the possibility of a skin sensitivity, and so it's all the more important that you try to dilute it a bit the first time or two that you use it to make sure, like anything else, that you don't react to it. If you're pregnant or under a doctor's care, I have to tell you to advise your doctor before you go about using these oils. Definitely keep this out of the reach of children, because undiluted, it can cause that strong sensation that would be really hard for them. And even if it were diluted, if they were to get it into their eyes, it would be really, really hard. It would be hard for you. Don't get it in your eyes. And also, it's advised that you not use peppermint oil, especially not undiluted, on an infant or a very, very young child. I've used it on my children when they're young, heavily diluted with a carrier oil. Peppermint, though, let's talk about peppermint. Peppermint can be used topically, which means that you can apply it to your skin. You can use it inhaled, which was what you just saw me do. Put a drop here, go like this. It's called a scent tent. You're making a tent with your hands. And it's strong. I mean, peppermint, I just did that and it just cleared my sinuses, which we will talk about. You can also use it in a diffuser, and a diffuser just creates a fine mist of that oil in the air, almost like a vaporizer we would use when we are sick, but the diffuser is made to use oils. Don't use it in your vaporizer because the oil could potentially ruin it. You can buy diffusers through me, or you can ask me where you can find them. I use them all the time. But the diffusers put that oil into the air, and that has a lot of potential benefits, both for aromatherapy purposes and in some oils for illness fighting, bacterial fighting, purification purposes. You can also ingest oils. Again, even with peppermint, you want to dilute it because it is a strong oil, but peppermint can be ingested. And again, I would also make sure that if you're not using a Young Living oil, that you read the label. A lot of them will say, do not ingest. There's something in there that they don't want in your body. So let's talk about ingesting. Let's talk about digestion, since that is the traditional use for peppermint oil. You can use peppermint oil for all kinds of digestive problems. You can put a drop in some herbal tea to aid in general digestion or to relieve some heartburn. 1 drop to a full cup of tea is sufficient. It's more than sufficient. If you dilute it and you rub on your abdomen, on your wrists, the skin is very thin here, or you can inhale it with a scent tent, and that could relieve some minor indigestion. If you have something more serious going on, you have diarrhea, you have gas, you have strong indigestion, you might want to take 4 to 6 drops with just a bit of carrier oil and rub it all over your navel area, your belly button area. And actually, you will definitely feel a cooling sensation immediately. And I've found that when I've had very bad indigestion or other problems, it generally kicks in about 10 minutes. And I sometimes will have an immediate reaction where things will calm down right away. But overall, it's a good 10-ish minutes or so. So all around wonderful for a variety of digestive problems. Concentration and alertness. I will show you a trick that my family uses. We do a drop of oil on the thumb, and then to the roof of the mouth. That will wake you up quicker than coffee ever could. So if you want to do that, you can try that. I do it undiluted. My husband does it undiluted. You have to be really careful that what you're touching afterward, because the oils kind of stay there for a while. So I would make sure to wash it off pretty quick. You definitely don't want to get it in your eyes. You can also do a drop on the tongue and then another drop if you go like this with that thumb. And that will not only wake you up, but it improves your concentration and alertness. They will also help clear your sinuses of congestion. You can take a drop or two and rub it in some carrier oil and put it on your temples, your forehead, over your sinuses, and the back of your neck for a tension headache. I would advise you that when you're using them up here or around your eyes, be very careful. Have your oil in here with your carrier oil. And if you feel like there's more than just a thin film of the oil on your hand, go to the side of your hand and just gently rub it off. You can always put more on your hands and on your face. You can't always get it off once it's on, and you don't want it dripping in your eyes, just because that strong cooling sensation, almost a burning sensation if you're very sensitive, will irritate your eyes horribly. and then you need to just wash them out really well. You can rub on the back of your neck and your shoulders, and that will increase your energy. You can diffuse it in the air while you're studying to improve your concentration, or you can use a scent tent like this, and that will boost your concentration. If you do a scent tent and inhale it before a workout, it will boost your mood and reduce your fatigue. And then the same thing, that inhalation in the mid-morning or mid-afternoon triggers that feeling of fullness in your brain, and it could curb the mid-morning or mid-afternoon snacking. How wonderful is that? Okay. It's also a pain reliever to some extent. If you take some in your carrier oil, rub it together, and rub it into swollen joints or inflamed joints, arthritic joints, it could be a great source of pain relief. You can actually put it anywhere that you have any kind of chronic pain or inflammation, and it will be a great pain reliever. Although there is an even more potent oil that we have called Panaway that we will talk about in a future video. You can put it in your foot bath, put it in a foot bath, just a couple of drops. Actually, you may even be able to get away with just 1 or 2 drops, and it'll really relieve sore feet. It's awesome, wonderful. If you have ever had anything made with peppermint for your feet, you know this is just, it's heaven. It's just heaven. Also, applying it to the soles of the feet will reduce a fever. And that's where I generally tend to use it on my children, is if they have a fever, as a fever reducer. Peppermint is also an excellent skin irritation reducer. I know that we all will also talk about lavender oil for that. The next video is lavender. But peppermint has a good, strong anti-itch factor. So if you make sure you're not using it on broken skin. Don't put it on broken skin. But if you take some and dilute it with a good carrier oil and then apply it wherever you have an itch, whether it be a mosquito bite or a poison ivy or poison oak even, that should reduce the itch sensation. Chicken pox, as long as the skin is not broken, it's a really excellent anti-itch. And again, be really careful with children, because if they go and scratch at something, or if it's even if it doesn't physically itch them and they've been scratching at it and they know that they want to scratch at it, they can touch it and then touch their eyes, and then you can have problems because it will feel like it's stinging their eyes. What else can we do with peppermint? We can make drinks. Yay! If you put a drop of peppermint oil in your water on a warm day, it's awesome. It's just like a peppermint beverage. I will sometimes put a drop of peppermint and a drop of orange oil in there. Oh, it's delicious. You can also stick it in your coffee. Yay, have your own coffee mocha peppermint treat. You can use it as a food flavoring. Oh, you know what else you can do with peppermint? You can avoid rodents, ants, and cockroaches. If you take 2 drops and stick it on a cotton ball and stick it wherever those little beasts would be, generally it will deter them from entering that area. So if you put it where they enter your home, then you are likely to be free of those for a good long time. Also, if you take, I always have these spray bottles around. If you go to the travel section of your supermarket, you can usually find these little 4-ounce spray bottles. This is my Thieves one. This one I think is my, yeah, this is bergamot, because I need bergamot occasionally. But you can put 4 or 5 drops in and this is just so you get an idea. Let me show you the other one. It'll probably show up better. This is roughly the size of a 4-ounce bottle. 4 to 6 drops in here, and the rest of it water. And shake it, because the oil has a tendency to separate to the top, and you'll want to shake it up. But if you do 4 to 5 drops of peppermint oil in with the water and then spray it on your plants, it will kill aphids. So I know that the aphids happen to love my tomato plants, and this is a great way to do pest control without chemicals that will hurt your kids or your animals or whatever, my dogs. Also, if you take 1 drop of peppermint oil on a cotton swab and swab it on a tick and just sit there for a bit and wait for it to kick in, you should see that the tick will remove its head from the skin, and at that point you can remove the tick. What else can we do with peppermint oil? Oh, you know what else we can do? This is just for size sake. This is a 5 milliliter bottle of peppermint oil. I don't happen to have a 15 milliliter bottle on me at the moment, but if you took a 15 milliliter bottle and dumped it in a 5-gallon bucket of paint, it would dispel the fumes. Yay, peppermint oil! How psyched are you to have peppermint oil right now? Peppermint oil gets a video all its own just because there is so much it's good for. I love peppermint oil. I love peppermint oil, and actually I need to order more because I'm running out, because I not only use it a lot, I sell a lot of it. So that's all I have to tell you about peppermint oil. If you need peppermint oil, you can go to my site, www.heatherdgeorge.com. You can email me, heather@heatherdgeorge.com. You can buy oils. You can ask me questions. You can have a health strategizing session with me free of charge. Just feel free to check out my site. We have lots of free information. And that's it. That's all I can think of. Enjoy. Love your oils. Be careful. Be diligent, be excited.